Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 2.54. Now in this Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is helping us to understand the impact or the effect of Pratyahara. Now we're going to take a look at what the sutra is all about, how it's instructing us to conduct Pratyahara and get a good idea and insight into it. So let's dive right into the sutra. So the sutra itself goes, Svavishaya samprayoge chittaswarupanukara evendriyanam pratyaharaha. Alright, so this is the sutra itself. Now let's start breaking it up word by word and understanding it a little bit better. So the first word that we have here is swa. And swa, as we've studied even in previous sutras, refers to one's own. So your own specific thing. So swa, self. Then coming to vishaya, this is a very common Hindi word as well, which means subject or a particular subject area. Then we come to the next one, which is talking about asamprayoga. Now here, what this essentially means is not being in contact with. So not having any contact with, not being close to, not being affected by. So this is asamprayogaha. And then we come to the next word, which is chitta. Chitta, of course, means consciousness, which we've been studying over all of the sutras so far. And finally, we come to swarup, which means one's own form. So swarup. Then we come to anukara, which refers to following, imitating, or going along with. And the next word is eva. Eva also has appeared before in some of the sutras, and it indicates as if. Then after that, we come to indriyanam. So this is specifically referring to the indriyas, which as we've studied, refer to the senses. So indriyas means the senses or the sense organs. And then finally we come to the final word, which of course is pratyahara, and this is referring to the withdrawal of the senses. So now that we've understood all the different words, let's take a look at what is the sutra trying to tell us. So the sutra is saying that pratyahara is that condition of the body in which the senses now begin to withdraw inwards, and they have no more ability to contact or come in contact with the external world or object. And this is an active choice, by the way, that is being made by the body-mind complex. And finally, because they no longer enjoy the external environment, they naturally begin to follow the chitta. They become besties or best friends with the chitta, and that is what happens. The senses and the chitta influence one another, and when the sense organs are no longer receiving stimulation from the outside, the chitta is no longer getting agitated, and we're able to go into much deeper recesses of dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So that is what this sutra is about, but now let's go even deeper into its explanation and understand it a bit better. Alright, so in this sutra, we're being told the impact and the effect that Pratyahara has on the mind and the body complex. And I think the most important thing that we're learning in this case is that essentially when the senses begin to draw inwards, the chitta also does not experience any disturbance from the outside world. And because of this sort of lack of disturbance, what starts to happen is the mind is free to start going inward into its inner areas through dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. And this is a really important practice, because when we move into the deeper realms of yoga and meditation as we know it, we need this ability of the senses to be able to take a stand and not get stimulated by the outside environment. So this is as easy as it sounds, it is very difficult to actually do this. Now, one of the sense organs which we can actually close are of course the eyes, but the other sense organs cannot be closed at will like that. I don't have like a lid to close my ears. We don't have something the skin can go off on or the tongue can stop tasting, but the eyes can switch off for a while and kind of, relax themselves. So the most important thing to remember here is that the sense organ of sight can temporarily close itself, but the other organs, it's all about willpower and channelization of energy. And so knowing this, what Muni Patanjali has explained is that pranayama is essential for pratyahara to happen properly. If you think about it, when we practice pranayama correctly every single day with certain Hatha yogic or even other pranayama practices, the first thing that begins to happen is our eyes actually start to become heavier and you feel like closing your eyes. In fact, even you would have experienced this. When you're doing pranayama, there's a tendency to want to close the eyes and go inwards and, be in sync with the breath. And this happens quite naturally. Even somebody who may have never practiced pranayama will experience that over a period of time, there's a desire to want to go inwards, to stay with the breath, and to be completely still and silent. So this shows us the power of pranayama, that this, movement of pranic energy and these pranayama practices automatically take you closer and closer to pratyahara, where now your sense organs start to withdraw inwards. But not only this, what also happens is pratyahara is like the bridge between the external part of yoga known as Bahiranga Yoga, or the asana, pranayama, yam, niyam, and also the Antaranga Yoga, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. So Pratyahara is like a little bridge, bridging the gap between these two. And that's why it's such an important practice. There's no one thing that we can say, oh, this is Pratyahara. Like, it's not like the asanas where we can point out an asana and say, this is Pratyahara. It's not like that. But it's more of a spontaneous process that takes place as you keep on practicing. You start to experience a certain sense of Pratyahara arising within you, and then you kind of take it forward and go into the deeper states of Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. So Pratyahara is a very, very important technique to master for somebody that is serious about the yoga practice. Because if you want to enter deeper states of meditation, your senses need to be able to chill, essentially. They need to be able to not take in all of those, stimulations and all the things that are happening outside. One amazing way to try this is to sit in a very noisy traffic jam and try to meditate. And if you're still able to concentrate, meditate despite all the distractions around you, then you're making some progress on this path. Even for me, this is so difficult. I try to do it sometimes if I'm actually stuck in a traffic jam, which hasn't happened much because of the pandemic. But anyway, I do try to do it in noisy situations. It's obviously not always very easy, but just that trial and error, trying to be mindful and sort of just guiding your senses inwards, it's a really useful practice. And the more you do it, when tough situations arise and the senses really need to make a choice, they will be able to, form that barrier and help you close in and just go deeper within yourself. And that is exactly how Pratyahara helps a yoga sadhak to move closer and closer to the yoga path and the yoga sadhana. So I hope this video has helped you to understand the role that Pratyahara plays and how exactly we can move towards it using pranayama as our foundation to become more and more adept at Pratyahara. So yes, I hope this video has been helpful. Please let us know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every single week. We look forward now to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care, keep practicing, do drop in for one of our classes or workshops, and we hope to see you at the next one. See you soon. Namaste.